Well, that's awesome. Hey, what's up, guys? Favorite coach and entrepreneur, Coach Chris. There we go. Okie dokie. I think we're in a mirror image, but that's okay. What's up, guys? Welcome in. Just a few minutes. Going to try to get at least 30 minutes in here if you guys. Let me know who's in the chat. Don't have my computer. I have an iPad over there. I'm probably going to try to grab it to see if I can keep an eye on the chats. Let me turn the internet, make sure it's on my. All right, we're good to go. Cool. Thumbs up, put into the chat. Feel free to talk. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Put that there. Put this over here. Here we go. What's up, guys? Welcome in. Feel free to put anything into the chat. I am going to log into my iPad so I can see the chat. And then I might turn the camera around because y'all seem to like that view. Feel free to ask me anything about this morning's topic. So we're going to talk about business, mentorship, things like that. Stuff that I talk about you guys all the time. If you want to talk about health, wellness, and nutrition, we can always talk about that. Remember, one of the businesses I used to have was indeed a health and wellness business as a certified trainer. But mindset training. Talk to me, guys. Let me know what's on your mind. What can I do to kind of talk to you and show you guys what I believe is the absolute key to anyone who's trying to be successful? Hi, I am in the chat. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hi. So, I do believe now, if we turn this bad boy around and do this now, I think it's going to look better if we do it this way. Hey, Audrey. Hey, Audrey, how are you? We'll put it down like this. Hello, Audrey. Hope you're doing well. We'll slide this over here. Hello, Audrey. Hi. Let's see how we look over here. Hello. Oh, Aubrey Corin. Hi. Aubrey, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. What's on your mind, Aubrey? What's on your mind this morning? Talk to me. I'm going to go for a little bit of time, so what's on your mind? What brings you into a chat room this morning? NTH. I'm guessing, does NTH mean nothing? Does that mean nothing? I'm older than I look. I don't know what NTH means. I'm guessing that's an acronym for nothing. Okay, cool. Well, Aubrey, what do you do? What's your age category? Are you younger, older? And I only want to ask just so I got an idea, kind of who I'm talking to. Keep in mind, anybody that comes into the chat that's blue, those are my moderators. They're really nice. They're cool. Are you someone who likes business? Are you someone who is in school? Are you in college? What do you like to study? What are some things about to 18 to 28? Okay. Are you in college? What's the plan? What's the goal? What do you plan on doing? This is a good time to talk about it. I like people who have never met me to come in here and just open up and if we have anybody who's kind of sicko in the chat, we'll get rid of them. So this is a good spot to come in and chat. I think everybody needs something like that in their life. You know what I mean? Aubrey, financial advisor. Okay, very cool. So is that like Series 7 and all that? Do you do a Series 7? I forget the licenses, but it's like a few of the licenses and stuff like that. Cool. Do you work for a company or do you do your own independent advising? I'm only asking because I always thought, I've got a couple friends who are financials advisors, and I think in that field, I think if you're good with people and you can connect with people, it's a very lucrative field. However, I do think sometimes, depending on the agency they work with, sometimes they can have good contracts, good employment, and then also sometimes they can be exploited. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Nice. So, I guess, are you used to, I like cats. Just can't eat a whole one all by myself anymore. Oh, well, Connor, there you go. Well, Connor, let's be real. I don't think you should go around telling people you're eating cats. I think the PETA is going to get mad at you. But hey, man, if that's what you want to do, go do that, man. Jesus cares about you. He's going to come back if you have faith, and you're guaranteed a spot in heaven. Oh boy, there's an interesting subject. Well, that's where race, religion, and politics is something interesting. And if you come to my channel, that's always something that pops in. Anyone who wants to wish somebody else to be better, that's awesome. But I myself am not very religious. I don't conform to any religion. Yeah, I don't need a church to tell me or any religious group to realize that I think all religion's kind of made by man, if you think. But that being said, don't let me change your opinion. If Jesus is your thing and you rock with him, cool. I think Jesus was a real person. I think Jesus was a representation of love. And I do believe that a lot of things Jesus said was true. However, I think after traveling around the country, serving my country for 10 years in the Navy, I do believe that all religion is created by man. It's pretty obvious to me that all religion was created by man. So, just as I drive home, let's say I drive to the store, there's more than one way to get to the store. If I want to cook a pot roast or I want to cook chili, there's more than one way to cook everything. Well, I think there's more than one way to enlighten ourselves. I think everything's about inner peace and self-discipline. That's my own opinion. You're very welcome. What is that? No, I don't smoke or do drugs, man. I don't do drugs or do any of that. No. This is just my personality first thing in the morning. Keep in mind, I work about 14, 15 hours a day sometimes between social media. I have my own business. I train in the morning. And I have like 3 lights over here. So if you think I'm stoned or anything like that, nah, man. That's just typically what people usually do is when they say that, they're projecting and displacing their own habits on others due to their own self-imposed limitations and their own disbeliefs. So one of the things I talk about on my channel is I actually teach people how not to do drugs, not to drink, not to smoke, face the world sober. Because most of the people that I know that are successful, that have mentored me, a lot of them don't indulge in those things, right? Anyways, I have my husband's flag in a case just like that. He used to be in the Army. He passed away from a heart attack. Oh, Darlene Harris. Darlene Harris, thank you for commenting. Yeah, that's the flag that I flew when I was in Afghanistan, right, with the team, JTOP. There we go. I thank your husband for his service. I got family that was in the Army, and that's awesome. So, essentially, yeah, I keep the flag up there because I am a veteran. I love my country, and yeah, thank you for your husband's and her service. Would you prefer to eat a guinea pig or a fried hamster? What a great question. I guess I probably would eat a fried guinea pig, probably. Not to say I want to. Don't think I had the urge to eat either one, but if you had to pick between the two, I think I think a fried guinea pig would probably be better than a hamster. Guys, I'm not sick in the chat. I'm not saying that's what I would eat. But if you can separate your own internal biases and put into the chat, would you eat a guinea pig or a fried hamster? And why? That's a good question. Thank you. If you drink alcohol, Haley, how would you rate? So, well, Rob, I would say this, Rob. Anybody who's working, paying their taxes, doing what they need to do, I'm not ever going to judge them if they're drinking. But if someone's drinking daily, I'm going to assert this presumptuous thought. They would probably be a better versions of themselves if they cut back on alcohol. I mean, I would go as far as to say, don't drink unless it's the weekend or you're off the clock or you're off duty, right? And, you know, some people may have one drink a night, and I know some people abide by that. But all the research that scans the brain, like with MRIs over long periods of time, when you take people who drink daily, their brains are not the same. Now, you can be super intelligent and functional and still be an alcoholic or drink every day, but you're never going to be the best versions of yourself because the brain doesn't typically respond well to alcohol. However, some people do, according to my research, some people do have a genetic mutation where they can handle it more. But at the end of the day, if you drink clean water, you eat clean food, you do some form of resistance training or movement 30 minutes a day, get 7 to 9 hours of sleep if you can, try to get 20 minutes of sunlight. These are the things that'll make you feel better. So if someone's drinking every day, it would also need to be the amount that they're drinking, right? You can't just say, oh, someone's drinking every day, how much do you cut back? Because you're not quantifying anything. Those are not quantifiable statements. Now, if someone's drinking 4 drinks a day or 3 drinks a day, that's 21 drinks a week times 52. I mean, just do the math. That's a drug addict. That's an alcoholic. That's not good. You know, I'm not judging, but that's definitely not the best case scenario. Delane said, I don't drink or smoke either. You probably feel better that you don't. What you get at Taco Bell. Good morning, everybody. Game Changer, welcome in. My dog died in Afghanistan. That's very sad if that's true. Let's see. I would a damn dog, and what is this? I would a damn dog, and I don't know what you're saying, brother. Well, let's keep it. My dad was in the Air Force, husband was in the Army, nephews, very cool. Darlene Harris, that's cool. Thank you for doing that. What do you get at Taco Bell? I typically don't eat at Taco Bell. Back years ago when I was living in my car before I became an entrepreneur and, you know, kind of learn about manifestation, learning how to apply yourself. Years ago, I think I used to get the pizza. They had the Mexican pizza. I'd get like 4 or 5 of those and just eat them. But I don't think I've been to Taco Bell in like probably 10 years. So let's see. Thank you for your service. So if you've had past traumas and you use booze to cope, how do you cut back? Okay, cool, Robbo. I mainly get diarrhea. That's so funny. Right on, brother. Right on. So yeah. And then it was typically diarrhea after eating all those Mexican pizzas. So yeah, at least we're consistent in that. Or for dessert, the churros back in the day. Guys, typically I eat like steak and eggs nowadays. Typically I fast and I eat one big meal in the day, which is usually heavy proteins and fats for sustained energy because I do a lot of business on the phone and computers. So I want to answer this question by Rob. So this is a good question, Rob. Thank you for being number 1 into the chat. Guys, if you're enjoying this time, give me a thumbs up there in the chat. It does help me out. So if someone has got trauma and they use booze to cope, I can understand that because I have alcoholics in my family. I have people that have gone through trauma, terrible situations. What I would say is that's a self-development issue. That is letting the past in our lives. We have things that happen in the past, and a lot of times those past events affect our own internal state, our own internal monologue, if you will. And we have to, as men, as women, as adults, we have to face that sober. Every time we use something to cope instead of facing those thoughts and those emotions and accepting it for what it is, until a person does that, they're going to be dependent on a substance. So it's really about looking inside and reflecting and not necessarily forgetting the past, but cutting yourself away and understanding that those past events do not make up who you are into the present. And you have to really meditate on that. And if you find that yourself is seeking drugs to cope with that, then I would throw it back and try to substitute the drugs for something different, like go on a run, go stretch, get a guitar, go paint. If you're a mechanic or a carpenter, go build something. If you have a family, go love on them, go walk your dog. Start substituting a different addiction to face those past traumas. Try not to use substances, but try to use actions without substances, and then you will progress. It won't be easy, but if you do that for 30, 60, 90 days, you'll program neuroplasticity, and that will be a great effect onto your life. Okay. Dude, I figured out a way to include eggs into my day today. French toast, it doesn't affect me just like eating them. I've gained, well, yeah, so if you eat French toast and eggs, of course you're going to gain weight because that's protein, fat, and carbs. Just make sure your toast is real toast. If you're getting real toast and you soak it, very good. Or just eat eggs by themselves, go with your body. If you're underweight and you're trying to put on weight, I mean, you're going to be fine with the carbs. Just remember, if you just put on weight just to put on weight, some of that weight may be fat. So balance it out, look how you look in the mirror, judge your energy, and rock with it. Eggs are nature's multivitamins. Selenium, B12, zinc, magnesium, folate, all these things are in eggs. You can do it, Rob. I'm celebrating 5 years of sobriety. Yeah, so here we go. I just kicked off a vegan channel for saying I have to steak and eggs. I just kicked off a vegan channel for saying, oh, well, yeah, well, Nemesis. Well, that's, so if you're in the group of people who are vegan and you're trying to learn, because I was vegan for 9 months. I've done, in the last 15 years, guys, I've done every diet you can think about because I'm a nutrition coach. So I've tried a lot of them. Just think, if you're in a group and you mention what you eat and they kick you out of the group, unless you're being a butthole, hopefully you weren't being mean and you were being professional and courteous and polite. If a group of people kicks you out for believing differently than they do, it's kind of like a cult. Welcome to tribalism in the human experience. People get together with common beliefs, and if you don't agree with them, that's kind of how socialism and fascism develops. So be careful of that. You can do it, Rob. Yeah, so Don, don't bust the crust. Don't bust the crust says celebrating 5 years being sober. Yeah, for sure. So Don's just kind of like reiterating what we were talking about. I'm sure, Don, if you're in the chat, I'm pretty sure you feel better after going sober. I know I did. So 100%. You can do it, Rob. Absolutely. What do you do for work? Austin, I do lots of things. I'm a licensed insurance agent. I work for I'm not allowed to mention them on the camera, at least not right now, but I do virtual remote work. I meet with clients. I have Medicare contracts, Medicaid, final expense, life insurance, health insurance, and also particularly help protect blue-collar workers, steel workers, the teachers associations, because I'm a veteran. I sell supplemental coverage to those families that if their worst case scenario happens, like, for example, the other day we were talking to a client and they had basically one person bringing in money. All his benefits were tied to his work, but if he gets laid off, if he gets fired or moves job, their coverage is gone. So I put them on a policy that the worst case scenario, if that happens, they're covered with income protection. They've got death benefits now. I got like 15 of their family members to get $20,000 worth of death certificates. And I take care of the common blue collar worker so they don't get exploited by large companies. And we pay out a lot of claims. All right. Mountain biking and working on my car has helped me, and walking the dogs. Yeah, so I think the number 3 there, and Samir, that's great. Yeah, 100%. Mountain biking's great, working on your car. I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a carpenter. I do business and I talk to people. It's kind of what I do. So I can't relate to those things, but I can definitely relate to doing anything that causes you to do something that gives you self-fulfillment, self-gratification, some dopamine. Those are the things that you want to focus on, and that's a great suggestion. It's hard. I live in foster care. Both my parents died, and me and my partner had 4 miscarriages. Ooh, well, that's not easy, Rob. However, the more you focus on those things and say it's your past, remember, everything that you go through in your past and it doesn't kill you and you continue to push forward, that's what you should write a book about. You should write a book about all those things that happen and write it down and focus on those things, because with all those adversities that you've gone through, and though you're still alive and though you're still pushing through, that's a story. And you need to share that story with the world. Go to people so you can share your story and start serving others. If you're doing everything by yourself, that's one thing, but try to find a way to serve others. Go make yourself better and then teach other people how to do it and show how you did it, and just watch what happens. The world will open up for you if you do that. Okay, brother, who is the folded flag for? Definitely honoring one of, oh yeah, that's for me. That's one of the flags I flew when I was in the United States Navy. I served in Operation Enduring Freedom during that time, and that's a flag that I keep right there. My grandfather died since then. So basically, I flew 4 flags when I was in the United States Navy, but I was never on a ship. And I was a combat service support for a SWCC unit, so I had to go deploy with them. And long story short, I flew 4 flags. Flying those flags, I brought them home, and I lost a lot of relatives during COVID. So that's one from my grandfather, because he was an Army demolition man, son to an Air Force veteran, and I'm Navy, so I'm a fourth generation military servant in my family. So I honor my family with that flag. I have told my whole family about you helping me. I really appreciate you being so helpful to me. I'm going to brand new, man. Oh, you're very welcome, Game Changer. You're very welcome. Look, just keep it up, man. Look, I know that sometimes I think you might be underweight a little bit. It's cool. Just keep eating eggs, keep eating whole, nutritionally dense food, and working on your body, man. Push-ups, pull-ups, sprints. Do that. Drink water. Stay away from alcohol. Stay away from drugs. Drink water if you can. Just start stretching. Become the best version of yourself. If you videotape yourself doing that and start posting it, tag me. I'll follow along your journey. Just tag me in a post and put @MyMusicMuscle, right? I'll do whatever I can. My time is limited. I'm only going to be going for 30 to 45 minutes in the morning from time to time. And yeah. So, hey, mine, long time, Gentleman Gaming. Yep. Okay, see, sorry for the losses during COVID. I survived COVID and went on. Absolutely. Thank you for the kind words. Do you like the rapper NF? I don't really listen to a lot of music these days other than classical music. Not that I'm against it. I used to like rap. But to be fair, as much of the stuff that I do off the grid, it consumes a lot of my time. So I'm not really up to date with what's going on. I don't really listen to the radio. I do my work, serve the people. I serve a lot of people in my business, and I started streaming to try to teach other people to start serving others. So yeah, the doctor said I'm underweight yesterday. Yeah. You're awesome, Lion. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Just like, I love getting compliments. I love it when people come into the chats and say that, hey, my advice and my inspiration to them. And, we can always get into stories sometime. But yeah, that's why I come here, guys. Think about it as discipline, trying to wake up and do something consistently every day. There's a lot to be found in daily consistency. Yeah, the doctor said, NF, heard of him, watched his music. Cool. So there you go. Gentleman loves him. And don't think fruit juice is good for you. Jessica, yeah, well, I'd say this. I'm not saying fruit juice is the worst thing, but if you get the fruit juice that's on the store shelves that have like a lot of the citric acid, you have genetically modified ingredients, like the V8 juices with all these red dyes and stuff. Yeah, it's probably not the best thing. I would say just eat the fruit, especially if someone's overweight. If you just start eating fruit mixed in with like a good protein and fat-based diet, like a bunch of whole eggs, some type of meat, and then berries and fruit for hydration, and then if you want some veg, throw that in. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. I wouldn't go for fruit juice, man. I'd rather drink tea, coffee, and water. personally. So I would agree with Jessica on that. Thanks for commenting, Jess. I think you're on track with that. I mean, you could get some orange juice, maybe like a good orange juice would probably be okay. Just make sure it doesn't have too much added sugar. I hope you've seen it. Did you see what I said? Jacob, I think I missed it. There's a lot of chats coming in. Can you put it back? I'll go look at it in a second. Let's see. Jacob. Oh, there he is, waking up about to start off again. Nice 15-minute workout after a nice build and a shower, rest more, food, one more workout. Oh, Jacob, you found the job. Absolutely. Jacob, absolutely. Oh, I did see that. Oh, congratulations, man. Well, since Jacob's one of my moderators and Jacob Brock has been coming in, I want to give him some time. I'll be back into the chat here. I'm glad you found a job, and I'm glad. So do you feel like the waking up, the 15 minutes, just knocking it out? I mean, just a quick 15, 20 minutes of movement, getting your body set. You feel like that's contributing to your success? I hope so. It contains just as much sugar as pop. Yeah, but that's not necessarily true, Jess. You can't just say fruit juice has just as much sugar as pop because, like, there's different types of sodas and different types of fruit. So I do agree with you that fruit juice is usually not good, but just to say it has the same as pop, you're not really comparing anything. They both have sugar, but you could also, devil's advocate, say there's diet soda, and that doesn't have sugar in it at all, 0 calories. But then you can look at the artificial sweeteners that affect gut microbe. So just a bold statement to say it has as much as pop, that's not really a definitive statement. That's more of a subjective opinion. Right. Anyways, I'm doing well, just chilling in my flat. Well, I mean, then 99%, now you're quantifying it. See, that's just not how my brain works. And because I've been studying nutrition for a while, no, that's not true. You can get a lot of juices that, sugar's not necessarily bad. I mean, if you eat fruit, you get sugar. If you drink juice, you get sugar. It also depends if it's cold pressed, if it's got genetically modified. But your original premise, I understand what you're trying to say. A lot of fruit juices have a lot of sugars and a lot of pops have sugars, and if you remove that, you're going to be healthier. I agree with that, but I don't agree with your 99%. I think that's an over-exaggeration, and a lot of people can't stand that about me, but that's just how my brain works. But I would say water, tea, and if you want something sweet, just use honey or agave nectar. Go to a liquidator store like Ross's. They always have stuff on the shelf. Go get honey from a local beehive and do all that. But I do agree with your original premise. All right. Let's say, okay. Yeah, I'm just going to not talk about that anymore, Jess. I appreciate your contributions. I've said my thoughts on that, and I'm going to move on to a subject. Right. My cousin says, yeah. I'm big on science. Yeah, science is one of the reasons where when we get down to it, I've done a lot of independent research for almost 15 years on nutrition, and I've written hundreds of diet plans for people that have been healthy, unhealthy. I've put people on keto, I've put people on carnivore, I've put people on vegetarian, vegan, octo, lacto, pescatarian, Mediterranean, high carb, low carb, bodybuilding, bulk, lean, gain, like any type of diet. There's not one I haven't either done myself for at least 3 to 9 months. And what I've discovered is everybody's body is a little bit different. But what I will say is typically reducing processed sugar does great health benefits for the body. However, some people tend to do better when you give them some fruit and some natural sugar. And, some people do better if they just eat nothing but proteins and fats. So a lot of it depends on your heritage, your activity, what you do, where you live. There's a lot of variables that are interesting in that. So my insight's a little bit deeper, and hopefully you don't I don't ever want to come off as snotty or arrogant because I'm always open to learn, but I've done a lot of independent research, thousands of hours of research on nutrition, and gone and talked to top doctors in the world who used to do seminars because I used to sell supplements back in California. I feel like You know, you talking about carpentry and mechanicry, I can't talk like this because that's not my thing. But when it comes to business, mindset, nutrition, stuff like that, I feel that's kind of my wheelhouse. So you got to do what you do, right? Okay, yeah, I think you're focused on the wrong part of what I said, not here to. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I do agree with your premise, Jess. Understand that. I want you to walk away with a victory. I do agree with your premise. Your premise of if people cut out sugars and all the juices and sodas, yes, typically most of those people are going to be healthier, and I agree with you on that. Okay. Gentleman Gayman, there is an Orthodox church near me that sells honey. They have a kiosk in front of the building you can buy it from on an honor system. Oh, there you go. That's cool. Oh yeah, dude. Oh, listen. Some churches that do it right have lots of good things to offer, right? I would say if it's a church, if it's a local farmer, whatever, absolutely. And you guys know how I feel about religion, right? And I always say that I still will buy from the church. I will still go to church a lot of times just to have fun with the music. But you guys, it's not whether it's a church, it's not whether it's anything, any group of people who are trying to make things better for their community, I'm typically a supporter of. That's why I sell my insurance policies, typically the blue collar workers who are part of unions. Like I service the blue collar steel worker, the farmer, the man doing electricity, the guys who are working 60, 70 hours a week and keeping their family at home and doing all the work. I service those, my military, right? So, yeah, just, if you can get access to local honey, then I would definitely do that. Nice one. Yeah, to have fun with music. Let's see. Oh, mine toasted Jess. Some people don't like it when you know more than them and can back it up. Well done, mine. Well, yeah, the thing is, like, I never want to come across as arrogant, but I'm not using Google. I'm not looking up stuff. This is my chat. It's just, I'm fairly educated in this realm because that's kind of what I did for a living. I've been training people since I was like a teenager and studying nutrition. Like, this is kind of my realm. Now, there's people who are smarter than me in it, but if someone's going to tell me a stat in the chat, and I've already looked at the stats like previously, because I just certified for my exam 3 months ago again, yeah, I'm just going to say, hey, this is what I think. Because it's good conversation. I'm not here to be mean. I'm here to have fun conversations, right, about different subjects. And I don't know everything. There's lots of things I don't know. However, I do believe I use pretty good logic and rationality to think. Thanks for the compliment. Yeah, have fun with music. What's the difference between a blue collar workers and white collar? Wow, that's amazing, mine. There's nothing wrong being a religious person. It's good to have a religion. It doesn't matter what kind of religion you are. It brings happiness. Yeah, one life, man. 100%. Well, that's what I tell people. I don't care if someone's religious, as long as they're not hurting anyone or they're an extremist. Because there are some radical groups that get together and do some crazy stuff. But I've always said religion is a personal truth to someone. It's like a toy. I don't mean like a bad toy or good toy, but it's a personal truth. I'm never going to try to take away someone's personal truth. But just because someone has a personal truth doesn't mean that everybody wants to play with their personal truth. You can have your personal truth and you can share it to people. But if you try to share it with someone and then they say they don't want your personal truth, then it's kind of like, that's cool. And I have friends who are Christians, Catholic, Muslims, some Indians that look at Shiva, Taoist, Buddhist. I've got friends that have all sorts of things, and I don't even care what they believe. I care what they do, how they treat me, how they treat others, and I care more about that. I mean, I can look past a lot of flaws in people if they got a good heart, good integrity, and they have honor and loyalty. I can look past a lot of things, man. I know one dude who's an alcoholic, but he's got the biggest heart he can, and I've been trying to, convince him to stop. But at the end of the day, I don't think he ever is. But he knows if he ever wants to, he knows he's got someone like me in his corner. But that's his own choice. I can't make someone change their mind, I'm atheist and Christian. I believe the two, but thank you. Okay, well, I don't know how that works. I think that's called cognitive dissonance, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't want to force anything down people's throats. Easy on the chats, trolls. I know where you're going to go if we talk about forcing things down people's throats. Behave. I'm looking at you, trolls. Behave. That's amazing. Okay, so gentlemen gaming. So blue collar workers versus white collar. Think of the military. You have enlisted and you have officers. You have people that do things with their hands, and then you have people that do administrative roles, right? Typically, white collar salary usually requires a degree or a specific certification or skill set, and they're the ones that are usually lower upper to upper class, where blue collar is typically lower middle, middle upper maybe. But the blue collar worker is the working man that's got benefits, salary, takes care of the family, but has to do everything, typically has to trade time for money, where the white collar worker can usually do something that creates residual income so they don't have to trade time for money. That would be a distinguishing difference, in my opinion, between blue collar workers and white collar. Yeah, well, so I got a question to Game Changer. How do you find yourself, Heaven and Thumper? Heaven and Thumper, welcome in. Yeah, I service blue collar workers. That's what I do. I sell insurance policies. I've got my license over there. To be truthful, the first time I took my life exam test for life, health, and accident, I was kind of scared. I didn't think I was going to pass. I studied for like a month, memorized all this stuff, and then I went into the test and I walked out like, yep, I bet I failed, but somehow I squeaked by, because it's not something that you just memorize. It's kind of like comprehension. They give you a lot of tricky questions. But anyways, you're very welcome. Hey, Heaven and Thumper, hope you're having a good time. We're talking about a lot of different things, everything from nutrition, Coca-Cola, sugar, diet, Jesus, religion, some atheistic views, some non-atheistic views, which is interesting. Some people were wishing me love with Jesus, which is cool. I'll take the love from everybody. Whoever wants to send me love, I love getting loved. You got to love yourself in order to get love. And yeah, also talking about business and mindset. So we got a whole accord of things that we're discussing. So jump in, throw something in the chat. Everyone's being respectful. So far, no crazy trolls. And yeah, we're not here to just agree and disagree. We're here to talk about things, maybe look at things. Every time I come into the chat, I get a new perspective on something, because there's always some random person. There's people that come in a lot of times, all that good stuff. I just woke up and I have some good news. Heaven and Thumper. All right, well, share the good news. I went from blue collar to white collar. I was a union iron worker. Now I'm an IT manager. Oh, St. Jason, for sure. Yeah. So St. Jason's got a great example there. Yeah. And let me ask you, between the iron worker and the IT manager for the government space, I'm pretty sure you had to work hard to get that transition. And I bet it was one of the best decisions you made, if I'm speaking for you there, St. Jason. And guys, you can learn a lot from St. Jason there. What a great story. Imagine going from a iron worker, which is needed. We need iron workers, but imagine doing that and then transitioning to an IT role to where you can probably make more money doing less physical work, still brain work. But that's just a great example of someone who put their mind to something and accomplished something. So that's well to be praised, St. Jason. Oh my gosh. Okay, well there you get a heart from me for that. Absolutely. Well, Heaven and Thumper, I don't think we know each other too well. I don't even think you've been in my chat before, but you know what? You're getting married hopefully soon to my boyfriend, and you'll be moving to Colorado. Colorado sounds absolutely wonderful. How long have y'all been dating? This is where Coach Chris, mentor, business mentor, Navy veteran, Uncle Chris on the stream. You can talk to Uncle Chris now. How long have y'all been dating? Make sure you don't rush into anything too soon, dear. I've seen lots of divorces in my life. If you feel free to transition, I don't want to cut that or disencourage you in any way. Just make sure that you know what you have is true love and it's not lust, and make sure that you don't put yourself in a position where you're too over reliant on any individual, whether you're a man or woman, unless you're ready to go full in that position. That's all I'll say. For more than 3 months, well, 3 months isn't that long, but 3 months, it really was the best transition. I bet, St. Jason. Well, Heaven and Thumper, so more than 3 months. Well, that's good. So how long have y'all known each other? And how long have y'all dated? And then why the rush to get married? Because the answer, more than 3 months, sends kind of a flag up to me. And again, I am not trying to bombard on yours. And if you're like, I know what I'm doing, be quiet, Uncle Chris. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I've seen my family members. I've seen like probably, my mother's been married like 5 times. My sister got involved in the divorce early when she got married at 20. She's very successful, but I told her in her first marriage that it wasn't going to work out, and she hated me for it, and it didn't work out. I was like, well, I'm almost 40. I've mentored a lot of people. It's just typically the statistics were against her. So I'm not going to tell you anything that's other than coming from a position of love, that just make sure that you think everything through, because more than 3 months is not a long time. I recommend at least 1 to 3 years of at least knowing someone or dating them before you even think about marriage. But that's my own opinion. Now, some people are going to say love at first sight is real. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But remember, even the Bible, as someone who's not religious, but I know a lot of scripture because I grew up in the church. To be fair, the more I read the Bible, the more I ended up thinking it was made by man. But I still like a lot of the scripture because I think a lot of the poems in the Bible, especially the Psalms, are absolutely beautiful. Some of them are kind of gross, some of them are weird, but some of them are really good too. But that being said, you have 3 types of love: the phileo, agape, and eros, which is brotherly, godly, and lust and erotic. So just make sure that because he wants to be with me and only me, because he said that he wants to be with me forever, and I said to him I want to be with him forever. Right, well, that's not a good reason. If someone says they want to be with you forever and you want to be with them forever, people say a lot of things. That's not a good enough reason, in my opinion. But I do not want to change your opinion on anything. I think that's great, but knowing someone for more than 3 months as an answer and saying he said he loved me and I love him, those are not exactly credentials. What you need to do, and again, I'm not telling you to do this, but if I was you, I would make a Venn diagram to where, what are my religious beliefs, right? Because that's important to a lot of people. How many kids we want financially, where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, and I would make a list of everything that you can that's important to you, and I would have a conversation and make sure there's no disconnect, and I would really focus on that, because typically what people do is they rush into marriages too fast because it's exciting. There's a lot of, there's a lot of physical attraction, there's a lot of stuff. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to work out for you, because I wish nothing but the best for you. But in the real world, the statistics are the statistics, and the math is pretty evident of people that rush in. That is all. All right, guys, I'm only going to be on here for 15 to 20 more minutes. So, you've got me, Heaven and Thumper. So, if it's for more than 3 months, I mean, could you quantify it a little bit longer? Be honest. I'm not here to harp. Look at me like someone you've never met on a stream that genuinely cares for people. And I've been in business and sales and the insurance business for a long time. I've talked to a lot of people, got a lot of experience. I'm only here trying to give you the best piece of advice that I can offer, as if you were my sister. I'm pretending right now that you're my sister, and I would have a conversation the same way with her as I'm having with you right now. Okay. Anybody else in the chat want to mention anything? Because we are about to get ready here in a few minutes. Because remember, guys, I only am going to allot a little bit of time to do my streams moving forward. By the way, in case you guys don't know, this is my office over here. This is where I do a lot of my work. For you guys that wonder what I do for a living, I work on that computer right there. I have another one over there. And basically, I do business. So I'm a remote entrepreneur. as long as I have a computer and an internet, as long as I have computer and internet, I can work anywhere in the country. I'm very blessed. I had to develop a skill set for that. Yes, that's all Heaven Thumper. Now, Heaven Thumper, I do not want you to come in this chat and think that I'm trying to discourage you in any way, because that is not my intent. You see those flags up there? I'm a veteran. I service people. I work for blue-collar workers, right? I used to be a blue-collar worker before I got into sales and realized that, you know, you can have anything you want in your life if you're willing to help enough people, Zig Ziglar. So I just want you to really, really think about your decision before you marry somebody. You know, because it's a very big decision. People have no idea the amount of commitment. And also, I've been divorced one time, if that helps. So, just so you know. Uh-oh, sorry about that. Hey, Thumper, thank you. Thank you, Thumper. Thanks, I appreciate that. I did not realize that that was true. But before I go, we are going to play a little bit of piano. Just a little bit. Why? Well, I'm going to play a little bit of piano before I go for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and then I will still be looking at you guys through the chat. Pop this over here. I will put this over here, and then we'll put this little bejeebers right there. Cut that on right there. Wha-bam. All right. So it's going to probably be a mirror image because I don't feel like changing it. So I'll play a little bit of music real quick, since sometimes people come in just to listen to some of my stuff. Not that I play a lot of great music, but I try to play original compositions. You're very welcome. Thumper, can I ask how old you are? You don't have to give me an exact age. Oh, 21? Oh, wow. So young. Life is so exciting. You're the same age as my sister when she rushed into her first marriage with someone who she loved and it didn't work out. I hope it works out for you. I want nothing but the best for you, dear. Look at me as Uncle Chris or Brother Chris, okay? 21, that's a very big decision. Okay, so again, y'all are two young lovers who have probably found passion and love. You said y'all have known each other more than 3 months. Just really think about that decision before you make it. That's all I will say. That's a big decision, dear. That's all. And keep me updated, guys. Okay, now time to just get ready. At 10 o'clock, I have meetings all day. Let's see. All right, any questions in the chat while I play a little bit? 8-bar boogie in G. Okay. I'm going CFG on that. I guess if I did it in G, it would be like. Yeah, I guess it would have to be G A B C. It would be G C D. So it would be. Ah. Oh, Shawnee, yes. I'm only going to be live for a little bit. Thanks for people who come in. Yeah, I'm just playing around with some music. Welcome in, Shawnee. Guys, if you haven't looked at Shawnee's stuff, she's got a lot of good music on her channel. Shawnee, is that you singing in some of those musics, or are you... I think you had a video of you riding a bicycle. Are you singing in some of those? Hooray! Yeah, I'm not going to be able to go live every day, guys. To be fair, between everything that's been going on, I've really had to pull back off some of the streaming. So, simply just for my own energy's sake. But I am still going to go live from time to time. Boo! Oh, AI does the singing? For sure. Well, I still think it looks good. What is it? got to the music, I've seen the mind and the muscle. Yeah. There's no way around it. I just enjoy it, man. Anytime I need to do anything, I always find the piano was something that I traded for recreational drugs. I decided that that would be a good drug to get addicted to. And I try to spend as much time as I can when I have free time. Although the older you get, the less free time you have. So that's why I started this business on the side. And I'm thinking that I'm going to be able to grow it into something big and hopefully one of these days really take music seriously. Thanks for the compliments. Hope you're having a great, awesome day. Stitch, thank you. I film my ride to work. That's what I see every day. Cool. Heaven and Thumper. Welcome back, Heaven. Okay, there's something. That's beautiful. Oh, Julie, thank you. Hello. All right, guys, on that note, now I just want to play some, but we got some stuff to prep before we have class starting. Got to teach a class this morning, so we'll be teaching it right over here. Now, guys, I appreciate you. I have got to go now. We got 66 minutes in. Moving forward, 30 to 45 minutes is going to be my max ability to do on stream. I will still be streaming, so I will see you next time. Yes, St. Jason, she's actually very good as an artist. So I recommend giving her some props. All right, guys, I will see you soon. And stay good. All right.